Good morning, little chef, from the heart of Alaska's untouched wilderness. There's something magical about waking up in this cool, crisp air, the gentle sounds of nature, and the sight of seals playing just beyond the ship. This is the Catalyst, a historical vessel that's not just a ship, but a story waiting to be told. I start every morning out here soaking up the serenity, and there's no better way to wake up than with a warm cup of tea, a cozy blanket, and the stunning Alaskan backdrop. It's the perfect way to connect with the day ahead. One of the best things about life on the Pacific Catalyst is the food. Every meal is crafted with care and creativity using local ingredients and foraged ingredients to give you the true taste of Alaska. Today's breakfast? A masterpiece. We're having sourdough English muffins layered with sausage, peppers, eggs, and cheddar cheese. But wait, there's more. Crispy latkes with everything bagel seasoning, creamy chia pudding with yogurt, coconut, kiwi, and peach. And yes, more hot tea to keep my bones warm. It's like a gourmet feast in the middle of the wilderness. After breakfast, we got ready for an adventure. We anchored near a pristine cove and set out on a hike to a nearby waterfall. This isn't your average walk in the woods. It's a journey into Alaska's raw beauty. Along the way, we foraged winter chanterelle mushrooms, berries, and sorrel. The nature guide made sure everything was edible, but as a joke, we gave the first mushroom to the engineer just to be safe. The connection to nature here is unreal. Back on board, the chef was hard at work creating a lunch that warmed us from the inside out. We had a hearty bowl of reindeer and beef sausage, packed with hominy, chickpeas, cilantro, and red cabbage in a spicy, flavorful broth. It was the perfect way to refuel after our hike. Now, I did tell you there is a story behind this ship, so I'm going to dive into the history behind the Pacific Catalyst. It's not just a mode of transport, it's a living museum of maritime history. In the salon of the Pacific Catalyst, there's a huge bookshelf full of nature books, books about Alaska, mushrooms, whales, everything that you can think of when it comes to Alaska. But my favorite book to look at was the history of this vessel. This ship is almost 100 years old, and it's been a working ship for all this time. It was so interesting to see all these old photos and blueprints of how this ship changed throughout its years. Built in 1932, it started its life as a research vessel for the University of Washington, studying the waters of the Pacific Northwest. And during World War II, the U.S. Army used the Pacific Catalyst as a supply vessel, transporting equipment and goods to aid military in these remote islands. And this is my favorite piece of history that I learned about. After the war, the vessel transitioned to civilian use, including serving as a floating dental office for underserved and remote Alaskan communities. This unique role brought much-needed healthcare services to places that were otherwise unreachable. In another phase of its life, the Pacific Catalyst worked as a freighter, transporting goods along the rugged coast of Alaska and the Pacific Northwest. Its sturdy wooden construction and compact size made it ideal for navigating narrow passages and delivering supplies to isolated locations. In recent decades, the Pacific Catalyst was lovingly restored. Its caretakers have preserved much of its original structure, including elegant woodwork, while upgrading systems to meet modern safety and comfort standards. The ship retains its vintage charm and serves as a floating testament to maritime craftsmanship. Today, the Pacific Catalyst thrives as a small ship excursion vessel, taking guests on intimate journeys through Alaska's stunning wilderness. Its history is woven into the experience, with the crew members often sharing stories of its remarkable past, as passengers enjoy the same waterways it navigated for decades. The engine remains the same. It's a 6-cylinder Washington Estep direct drive diesel engine. This particular type of engine was built in 1929, and it actually predates the ship itself. so it's rare to find a working engine like this today, making it one true artifact. Compared to the steam engines of the earlier eras, this diesel engine was more efficient and required less fuel, a cutting-edge advantage in the 1930s. After our hike, we brought our bounty into the chef so he could come up with creative ideas to include them in future menu items. I think one of my favorite parts of this trip is foraging for our own food. It really makes you feel connected to what you're eating. As the day winds down, it's time for one of my favorite moments, cocktail hour. Tonight, we're sipping drinks cooled with glacier ice. Yes, actual ice from a glacier. It doesn't get more Alaskan than this. Dinner on the Pacific Catalyst is an event in itself. Every course is paired with a carefully chosen wine, and the flavors are nothing short of spectacular. For the first course, we had a white wine pairing with roasted eggplant, marinara sauce, and melted torched brie. Brie is one of my favorite cheeses, so I was so happy to see this on the menu. Bryce, the nature guide, comes out to our table every single course to explain to us what we're having. He told us what our red wine pairing was and what we were having for the main course. The chef prepared for us sweet potatoes with Alaskan king salmon and sorrel with lentil beans. I know what it's like working in a small galley and serving a lot of people, and I am so impressed with Chef Seth and how he can crank out 12 dishes in a small space like this. Every day on the Pacific Catalyst feels like a dream. From the history and the food, to the adventures and the people. It's an experience unlike any other. If you're looking for a journey that connects you with nature, history, and unforgettable memories, this is it. Click the link below to learn more and book your own adventure. Trust me, you will not regret it, little chef. For the final course, I'll let Bryce tell you what we're having.
Dessert is banana limoncello, panna cotta, and foraged berries, which include bunchberry, red huckleberry, curly raspberry, maybe blueberry, I don't know.
Yeah, there's
Orange berries.
smattering berries.
Yum! This has to take the first spot of my dessert list. Bye, little chef.